Hey, what's up? It's Andy. Welcome to Twin Flame Game Series. And today we're going to talk about if your twin flame is your past life. And because sometimes you'll hear like, well, they're just a past life. Like, it's not a big deal. But no, that's not actually it. Like, I guess you could say that, but that's not the way my spirit guides, have shown me throughout the way. In the beginning, I did believe like he was a past life, and so it's kind of like, well, he's just another version of me and just living out another life of me. But no, nah, that is not really actually how it is. So I'm going to explain my perspective on it. Take what you want from everybody, get what resonates with you and then leave the rest for somebody else to resonate with, you know what I'm saying? But, okay, so, if you know what planet you started out at, you may remember your very first lives there as one with your twin. It's weird, but you still feel a feminine, masculine polarity. But as you're getting down into these lower density planets like Earth, so, good and bad, that's what we're coming here to experience. And so we split. We all know this, into the feminine and masculine. And so you have had multiple lives in lower density planets. And so when you do that, you immediately split. You automatically will split, right? And so there's a lot of lives where you don't even cross paths with your twin, and so you're having different life experiences, but one is feminine and one is masculine. Like they're two different experiences, even though you're one soul. Because every time, so like you're gonna, and if you guys are interested in me doing one about past life and how to alchemize your past life trauma with your twins, because in every other past life you've had with your twin, which means any lower density planets, which you have had multiple lives on Earth at least 20. And so the ones that you do come into contact with your twin, you're not able to hold union in any of them, especially because of how the planetary alignment was. Everybody was in their masculine energy. No one was able to hold union. So a lot of the trauma that you have in your past lives doesn't end well with your twin. And those are what you're going to alchemize. I can teach you guys how to do that if you guys want me to do an episode on that. But so every time you come here and this is going to be the first life where you guys come into union, and so this will be the first life where you probably won't end your lives in a traumatic way that didn't work out for you, because those carry on to the following lives, because you two are coming here to experience certain things, and so when they say they're just your past life, well, no, because every time you have come to this planet, you have split. Even if you're on different ages, and I'm gonna explain why that happens too. But even though it's still in the same timeline, because your guys are trying to cross paths, but there's certain lives where you never do. There's certain lives where they die in war. There's certain lives. I mean, you're gonna see all of those, but it's not necessarily a past life, because they're having even though you're having parallel lives, they're still having their own experiences that you're not remembering as a past life, because you'll remember them in your own past life, so if you're remembering them in each past life, how are they one of your past lives? Unless you're in, that can't even happen, really. I mean, I understand what they're saying, because you're both one soul, but anytime you come to this planet, I'm sorry, you are split into two. And so, you're having two different experiences, even though you're one soul. Hopefully that makes sense. So no, they're not a past life, because you'll see when you start alchemizing your past lives that they're in your past lives. It's done. You know, so I've kind of asked my spirit guides, like, well, why do we come, why is there such an age gap, you know, when we come to experience the same stuff? And the way it was explained to me as like the feminine, usually when it happens, you're pretty much ending your karmic situations. You're usually a little bit older, and so your kids are, you know, going away, and you're getting a divorce, and your life's different. And usually the masculine, they're still in their karmic situation, you know, and their kids are younger, and so they still have to play out the rest of their contract. So it kind of makes sense for that they're younger. That's kind of what I got from it, you know, take what you will. But you know, so they're not a past life, you know, they're just the masculine version, and you're the feminine version, having two different experiences, you know, and then coming together. But every lifetime, you know, even if you don't meet each other in that lifetime, you still split in this 3D density fucking planet, you know, and other planets. This is not the only 3D planet. You know, there's 5D planets. There's a lot of other 3D planets that you've lived lives on, you know. So, and good and bad, you are splitting, you know. So how's your past life? I don't know, you guys. What do you think? This twin flame shit is crazy. Yo, it's so crazy. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, let me know.